Eagles as patriotic aerial surveillance units.
Can you tell the difference?
Well, President Trump meets today with another global leader as his administration promises more trade deals.
The one on the left is AI generated, while the right is real. The launch of Google's Veo 3 earlier this year, shocking users and the industry with how realistic the model is, plus how it can be paired with audio generation.
Reporting live from Clearwater Beach, where an unidentified
And as the lines blur, the AI clips of fake reports or newsworthy events that never happened, even reaching the Oval Office. With President Trump posting this provocative AI-generated video of former President Obama being arrested at the White House. In many ways, it's an obvious example of misinformation or parody, easily debunked. But what happens when it's not so obvious?
We used to say that seeing is believing, and that's no longer the case.
It's making life hard for Emmanuel Saliba, a content verification expert and a former NBC News reporter. She says the tech is getting so advanced, the fake videos are routinely being spread across the world and reported as fact.
During that gap between an event happening,
It is getting closer and closer. Like, they are definitely shortening that gap between between like reality and like what isn't reality, what's AI produced. Because like, I mean, we all know that older people, like our parents and stuff like that, can't really tell. I mean, they're easily fooled, but our eyes are more trained because we grew up on the internet or whatever. But I've seen a few videos with these new programs like Veo 3, and it's just like, it's getting harder and harder to tell, to pick up on those little nuances that kind of separate the AI from realistic videos. So, like, it's really, and especially when they start, when they purposely put like a degrading filter on there to make it look like it's an old video. So just, for example, like I don't know, they do like a VHS filter on top of it. So they purposely distort it to make it lower quality. Then it's hard to even pick up on those little imperfections. You kind of have to pay attention to what they're saying and whatever. But it is getting to a point where it's like, okay, what are we playing with here?
and authorities or media having any sort of confirmation, that's where we're seeing all of this AI generated content start to spread. And before it's debunked, before it's verified, it's gaining millions of views.
The phenomenon, also known as synthetic media. We wanted to see how easy it was to create, so we gave Google's Veo 3 a try.
The prompt says, generate a realistic TV news reporter stand-up. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda standing in a snowbank with snowy trees behind her.
We fed the program a short prompt meant to recreate a real report I did back in 2023.
All right, so now we will generate.
On our first try, with about a minute of processing.
Oh, should we give it a listen?
This is an area used to winter weather, but as you can see in the drooping tree branches, this colossal storm dropped heavy snow.
The landscape is so good and the quality is so good, like down to the detail of the hat. You can kind of see flurries.
It doesn't really look or sound like me, and the text at the bottom of the screen is gibberish, a telltale sign of AI. But watch how the AI reporter gestures, the hat, coat, even the NBC patch on the shoulder. And side by side with the real thing,
This is an area used to winter weather, but as you can see in the drooping tree branches, this colossal storm dropped heavy snow.
This slow zoom out, it's incredibly similar to the actual camera.
we tried altering the prompt to make it look more like me, but those attempts were blocked, with Google alerting it, quote, might violate our policies about generating prominent people. Google's video generator is so good, at least in part, because it's training its models on some videos posted to YouTube, the company recently told CNBC. It's that sheer realism of such an easy, free creation that highlights the bigger concern, when this tech is used not for fun, but to push an agenda or sow confusion. Saliba pointed to this example, a video posted to a Persian language Telegram channel in June, apparently showing an Israeli strike on Iran's infamous Evin prison. Now, Israel did strike the prison, so the video made its way onto multiple news reports, including NBC News Digital, but the video was fake.
Right. So, like, that's the dangerous thing about AI, is that you could use it as propaganda at that point to kind of influence the masses. You know, people that are easily influences, older generations and stuff like that. Or just people that don't verify their sources. You know, you're supposed to verify from multiple sources whether this occurred, trying to find some more evidence, and also, you know, listening to different news outlets. But obviously, that's unbiased, which is very hard to do. It's very hard to find something that's unbiased. But imagine a certain ideology wants to be pushed, a certain political motive or something they want to do. They can just create these videos, you know, slap say it's from like a webcam or a security camera, and then create a narrative and then push it out through these channels, and then next thing you know, you influenced an uprising or people's support for, I don't know, to go to war or something like that. That's the scary thing about it. It's like at what point is like, are we gonna instill some sort of censorship? I mean, censorship doesn't really apply to AI, right? Because it's computer generated. It's not like we're violating a right because it's computer generated. It's coming from a computer, so we're not censoring people. I think there's going to be a certain point where we have to do that, and I think they will do that. I think they might start doing that already. I think on certain platforms, but you know, then they need to create an AI to analyze other AI videos. It's crazy how like we rely on it at the same time. One thing I really love about AI is that I'm a creative, so I like when people create those AI videos that are like they create like a script, like a short film or something like that, or just like an animated film. Like they just think of it, they can write down the script, they submit it, and then the AI generates it, and they can keep tweaking it until their imagination comes to life. And that's what I love about it. I love that. I love the creativity about it. I don't think it'll replace like films entirely, because there's something organic and authentic about seeing real actors perform and real stuff. Just like I don't like a film that's 100% CGI. Yeah, I think there's, you know, pros and cons to it. I definitely love the artistry of it, but when it's applied to real life like this, it can be very scary.
The video has since been removed from NBCNews.com out of concerns about its authenticity.
Right now, what we're seeing with generative video is that it can only generate one shot up to 6 or 8 seconds max, and that was the length of the video.
Saliba found this still image from a 2-year-old article, an exact match for the first frame of the clip, meaning someone likely used that image to generate the false footage.
No.
The 12-day Iran-Israel war proving to be fertile ground. Synthetic propaganda getting mixed into the torrent of information pouring out of a rapidly changing conflict. Some have clear AI tells if you're looking closely, but realistic enough to fool those quickly scrolling. It's all happening in an increasingly fragmented media environment, with more than half of people under 35 in the U.S. already relying on social media and video sites as their main source of news, as opposed to traditional media outlets, according to a Reuters survey. Influencers and podcasters like Joe Rogan regularly pulling larger audiences than cable news, and even comedians editing themselves into local news clips to create funny content that's not AI, but still sometimes hard to distinguish from the real thing.
Crazy. I paid $300 to rip some zins and maybe catch some grouper.
Now AI adding another layer with the ability to almost instantly dub video content in another language, also available on the market. It's straightforward. I take this selfie video, the team pops it into a website, a few clicks, y de repente estoy hablando otro idioma para que conste. No hablo español con fluidez. Recognizing these difficulties in verification as a growing problem, some companies are trying to tackle it at the source. Google declined to be interviewed for this story, but pointed us towards a feature it's calling Synth ID, an imperceptible watermark embedded in the pixels, sound waves, and even the word choices of all its AI-generated content.
The watermark can withstand common editing techniques like reordering and trimming, adding noise, compression, cropping, and filters.
Google's systems can detect the watermark and flag likely AI content, but the detector is still in testing for now and not helpful to the public yet. Others taking a different approach, focusing on marking authentic content instead. One group, C2PA, is trying to build content credentials that can track the life of a piece of content from its origin to the point that you see it online. The chairperson describing it as a digital nutrition label, but it has limitations.
The challenge there is that it doesn't survive, for example, upload and download from social media. And most of this content is spreading on social media.
In response, C2PA telling us it's combining a visual watermark with the content credentials to make them more durable. But until it's obvious to a regular viewer out on the web, what's a news consumer supposed to do?
Just being aware of what these tools can produce. Stay skeptical, try to verify the content. There are a couple tells that you can keep an eye on, but those will change over time.
Making clear even a trained eye might need more sophisticated tools to tell fact from fiction. Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
That's crazy.